Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? I hope so. Hello, I'm waiting to see if they can hear me. Waiting to see if you can hear me. I don't know why I've had these problems. Boy, let me see if I can hear myself. Oh, is that Tim? That's so funny. I heard you. Thank you. That's so funny. Okay, so I can be heard. Wow, wonderful. Now we're ready to go. So let me begin to share. I had to delete the other one. And now that's deleted and we're ready to go. Good morning again. Good morning again. Good morning again. Let me move this back. It's too close. All right. Now we're ready to go. We are ready to go now. Finally. Wow. What an adventure. What an adventure. That means it's going to be fantastic this morning. Now we're behind a little bit on the time. So we're hoping that our author has the time. Everyone is busy, but we thank you all for tuning in to the Lady, excuse me, Lady Mo. This is our morning show. This is Authors Week. We had some fantastic authors. Thanks for tuning back in with us, Mother Lois. We appreciate you tuning back in. As I begin to share the video, we have to share the video, We're excited about this morning, and I know definitely now it's going to be powerful. I already know it's going to be powerful because of what I just went through to get back on. This is what happens when your studio people leave the premises in the quarantine. Really? They left me here. They left me here to fend for myself. Can you believe that? So now I had to do it myself, and I'm sure I did something to mess it up. I'm sure they're going to blame me. But it's okay because we're on now, and we have two special guests that are here this morning with us. Just as I begin to share the video, because then we're going to move very fast for the sake of time. I know it's raining, but some people are out shopping. Some people have, things to do. They have to spend time with their kids. Not that most of us have not been doing that because of the quarantine. I know I have been spending a lot of time with my family. Oh, great. Let me turn this off so I can make sure. Oh, I got to turn this down because, if they hear any music. I had on instrumental, and then all of a sudden, so let's see. So good morning, everybody. Share the video. Share, share, share. That's what I'm doing is share, share, share. I'm sharing the video because it's going to be powerful. It's going to be outstanding. Okay, one more share and then we are ready to go. Our guest is on and ready to go. She's been sitting there for a while now, waiting. She's been waiting. Okay, I can hear. All right. So, our first, hi, how are you, David? I'm Pastor David from, look now, North Indiana. Oh, hello. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the Lady Mo Morning Show. And we have some great authors today in our presence. We're excited about them. My first guest is here. She's been waiting for a long time for us to get this together over here. It's my fault. It's not her fault. She was here on time, ready to talk about her wonderful book that she has written. So begin to share the video. We've had great guests all week. Please, please, please go back and look at all the videos from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and today is our last day of Author Week. Join me next week. Let me tell you about next week. Oh, I'm your host, Lady Mo, just in case you didn't know that. I'm your host, Lady Mo. And join us next week. It's going to be powerful. It's empowerment and motivational week. As we prepare for 2021, we must be mentally strong, mentally prepared, mentally ready to jump. So we're going to have some special guests that are coming in to get us ready for 2021. Yes, during the pandemic. Yes, we're going to have some motivational speakers, some empowerment presenters. We're going to have some entrepreneurs. We're going to have some millionaires on. They are ready to get us moving and get past this pandemic. Yes, we're living in the pandemic, but we're living in the pandemic, but the pandemic should not live in us. We still should be moving in purpose. I know so many people that have become business owners during the pandemic, so it can be done. Absolutely, right? So I'm going to bring on our guest. Her name is Nikita Jackson. She has wrote this fantastic book. The book is called Brotherhood of Black Fathers, a book of affirmation and health and wellness. And this, you need to text, email, and share this video to every African-American man or any man of color that needs to know. That I was just telling my husband this morning, and he's praying and fasting, and is that wonderful? And I said, well, I'm still going to make you a doctor's appointment, because men, and not just African-American men, but men in general. Oh, I'm all right. I'll be fine. I'm good. I don't need any medicine, right? Yes, amen, Pastor. So I'm going to see you on Monday, right? Monday night. It starts in the evening. So I want to bring in my guest. And she is ready in the green room, and she is ready, and I am finally ready. Oh, hello. How are you?
Hello, Lady Mo. How are you?
We had all this technical difficulty.
It's okay. It's all
Someone
right.
else is doing it for me, and they weren't here. I was like, and I'm calling them on the phone. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. But how are you?
I am doing very well, Lady Mo. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing wonderful. 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 You look beautiful.
Thank you. You as well, as always.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. How's the family?
Let's see. The family is doing fantastic. I couldn't be more proud of them. So all is well. All is well.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Wonderful. Well, this book, I know you've been sitting there, so I know you probably added some more. So you have to tell us about this book.
All right. So the book Brotherhood of Black Fathers really is a book of affirmations on health and wellness, right? And the focus really is a call to Black men to take care of themselves. When I wrote the book, my whole focus was to assist Black men, Black fathers, either in the beginnings or the deepening of their daily self-practice. And so I wanted to do it from a holistic lens. I wanted them to think about mind, body, and spirit, just as women do. Because the reality is the greatest act of self-love really is about self-care.
Yeah.
And so I want men to do that. I want them to focus more on taking care of their physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health, because that's a whole big component about holistic care.
Yeah, I mean, and it's so true, because so many men, our husbands, our fathers, our grandfathers, they are just focused on providing.
Mm-hmm.
And, when it's time for them to take care of themselves, we actually take care of them. They have a caregiver to take care of them. So for them to do this daily, and this makes them stronger in their faith, in their confidence in who they are if they do these daily principles. Tell me a little bit more about the principles that you were talking about daily.
So the principles primarily is self-care and self-love, and every person defines that. That's the first thing. So when we talk about self-care, it really is any necessary human regulatory function under our control, individual control. But you have to be deliberate about it. You have to initiate it, and you have to take care of yourself. Physically meaning, you getting out, you getting exercise, or what I like to call movement, because exercise is that word that makes people cringe, especially if they've never done it. So moving could be taking a walk. Moving could be them out mowing their lawns, not sitting on a lawnmower, but actually pushing it. Mentally is making sure that you are engaging with like-minded people, but you want that vibration to be super high, because iron sharpens iron, Sister Mo. So
yes,
is the focus there. And when you talk about the emotional aspect of it, you're talking about being able to connect with your inner being. You're talking about being able to connect with, and I say this genuinely, men must know how to cry, release, and heal. So that's what I'm talking about around this whole concept of health and wellness, right? That's the second part of the principle. But then we have that spiritual side, right? And that spiritual side really is about healing and reconciling our past, but we're connected to a higher being. And I truly believe that you cannot get through something ever if you don't have a spiritual connection that helps you to understand your inner core, your why, your purpose. And so the third part of that would be healing and reconciling the past. That is what self-care and self-love is, because self-care is self-love.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Self-care is self-love.
Self-care is self-love. Absolutely.
Now, when you said your purpose, I got to go there because that's a part of our society issue, is that so many men are not walking in purpose. They're just living and working and not tapping into their spiritual gifts, tapping into their purpose in life. So they're just living. So they become unproductive. So they don't take care of themselves. They become frustrated, disappointed, and they just end up just living life and just walking around just working. And that is so true, the things that you said about self-care and the spiritual connection, because many have their spiritual connection through a woman. And actually that's how it started, your mother, and I understand that, but you have to have your own spiritual connection.
I completely agree. And I want to talk about purpose. Purpose, honestly, is meant to be given away, just like our testimonies are not for us, they are for other people, right? And so when you think about your purpose, you think about it, and I want men to think about it from this perspective, because women's purpose and how we think about it is slightly different. But when men think about purpose, I would really like them to, and I encourage them to think about purpose from the sense of strength, right? And I talk about strength from 2 Timothy verse 1, 2 Timothy 1 verse 7. For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and a sound mind. So strength is a focus on, and purpose on, power, love, and a sound mind.
Yes.
So we talking about power.
Yes.
I mean, we're talking about purpose. I'm sorry. And so then when you think about value, because this is a part of men's purpose, it's coming from Jeremiah 33, verse 6. You will bring health and healing to me. You will heal me and reveal to me the abundance of peace and truth. Men need to walk in their peace and men need to walk in their truth. Again, it goes back to understanding, healing, and reconciling your past. This is all about purpose. And then the last part of that purpose, in my opinion, for men is all about faith. And I take that from Romans 4, verse 18 through 21. But I'm just going to give you a snippet because I know you know it, Lady Mo, is who against hope believed in hope. That he might become the father of many nations. That's so critical. When you break that down, the father of many nations, that's who our men are. According to that which was spoken. So thy seed shall be. Thy seed. It goes to your purpose, man, is to also leave a legacy.
Yes.
Right? And then that latter part, and being fully persuaded that what he had promised, he was also able to perform. So whatever you have set your mind to do, that thing which is good, not only for you, but for your family, you'll be able to perform it. So purpose has these layers connected to strength, value, and faith.
Absolutely. You just said something that I want you to talk about. You said your purpose is designed to be given away. When we change our mindset that it's not about us, then we're able to be more open and receptive to whatever purpose that God has designed for us. You said that thing, and it's just, and you said something I want you to share and elaborate more. You said purpose is reconciling your past. Expand on that a little bit more.
Absolutely. So in my book, there is a chapter on healing, and one of the participants, a co-author in the book, Dr. Pastor Meredith Griffin, speaks on healing for the Black man and the Black father. And he's coming from a perspective of whatever you feel as though you are not good enough to do, whatever mistakes you feel you've made in the past, they no longer hold you. You're not bound by those things. You have to be able to accept what was and be able to move on in your now. Because again, healing is about reconciling the past. Reconcile means to confront, to address, and to release it, right? And so when we're talking about healing, I asked the question to man, when was the last time you removed your armor? Because our men are suited up every single day.
Yes.
They're suited up. But when was the last time you've undressed? Really? You undressed, you took off the armor, and then you cleaned your wounds.
Yes.
Right, for that day, for that week, or whatever it is, because I'm trying to make it really simple. We have to take our armor off, and whatever has wounded us during the course of a day, the course of a week, we have to tend to that wound. We got to clean it, right? We got to put new garment on it. We got to take inventory of our health, whether it be we feel as though we're not feeling well, we have a pain somewhere, or we misled somebody, or we feel as though we hurt a feeling. We got to go back. We got to address it.
Okay. Now, because I have another question. This is powerful. This is wonderful. You tell us how to get the book before we move on.
Absolutely. So the best way to get the book right now is to go onto Amazon.com.
Okay.
You can either look up Nikita Y. Jackson. That's Nikita, Nikita Y. Jackson. Or you can simply type in Brotherhood of Black Fathers.
Okay.
And this is on Amazon.com.
Okay. Because they need to get this book, because it's we're not going to be able to cover everything. But what you're talking about right now is where many people are. If you guys go to Amazon.com, you know Amazon.com because you shop on Amazon.com. Most people at least 5 times a day.
The last thing before we go is I want to remind men.
We're not finished.
Okay, good.
More questions for you.
Okay, good.
No, we're not finished. I was just putting it out there so they can go to Amazon and get the book.
Absolutely. The other thing I want men to do is I want them to breathe, Lady Mo. I want them to breathe because breath is so important to refreshing us as human beings. It's what comes naturally, right? And so take a moment when you're feeling overwhelmed, or when you're stressed, or when you're getting ready to tackle something new. Men have to learn how to breathe and just take 10 moments. And there's nothing wrong with it, because it's not going to slow your day. It's not going to change, what's on your trajectory. But what it will do is center you and get you prepared for the next thing you're getting ready to deal with. Okay.
I got 2 things for you, because you're talking and it's good. And you said breathing what will it do?
It centers you. It centers you. The number one thing that breath does for us, especially when we're stressed, and this is according to health experts, when we're stressed out, right, we have increased heart rate. Our blood pressure spikes, and we're not able to relax. But when we breathe, literally take those deep breaths and we breathe out. And this is for every man. And if you have not tried it, you need to, because it centers you.
Now, let me ask you this question, because we're going to go back to purpose, because how would you suggest that women help their husbands without pushing them and overpowering them to moving towards purpose, not just regular living?
So here is my suggestion to the sisters out there, because and you have to recognize who your husband is, who your mate is, who your significant other is, and their character. That's the first thing. But you also, as a woman, you have to be centered, and you have to be focused on what your purpose is, and knowing that your purpose is connected to being that helpmate.
Yes.
So what I recognize you do is to practice your own purpose to start. Right? So when you practice your own purpose to start, you gently bring in your husband, casually with, hey, babe, you know what? I feel like a walk today. Take one with me. It could be as simple as, listen, babe, I just made this new shake or drink. Try it, taste it. What it tastes like to you. Do I need more of this? Do I need more of that? Or, babe, you know what? I think you and I need some time. I think we need time to step away from some other stuff so that we can just heal, our bodies and our relationship. And that could mean a special date, or it could be taking a cat nap. I know that sounds strange. It's strange, but when you don't practice it, it does sound strange. But when you begin to focus on your center, you'll see things differently. And then she can also start subtly identifying those couples or those individuals that just make you feel so good inside, mentally and spiritually. You can double date. Churches do it all the time.
Absolutely.
And then couples, they already know who their power couple friends are that push them. to go beyond the average.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about having the one up. It is about developing sound practices and sound relationships.
Yes. Now, what
When
about
needed.
those that are single? Because I wrote a book and I'm completing it now. Don't marry potential, but not marry purpose. Because
Absolutely.
because when you think about it, once we're already married, it's kind of late. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you can't leave, so you have
Mm-hmm.
to work with what
Mm-hmm.
you have. But when
You're
you're
not
single,
marrying to change anybody.
hmm
You know what I mean?
hmm
So you're marrying, you're right, with purpose.
yes.
You're equally yoked.
hmm
Your visions are very similar.
So, I'm telling singles all the time, when you are looking for a mate, make sure they have purpose, not
Mm-hmm.
just potential. Make sure they have a business plan. Make sure they have mentors. Make
Mm-hmm.
sure that they have the proper tools that they need, or you
Mm-hmm.
can assist them with or help them, get those
Mm-hmm.
tools. Because if not, you're going
Mm-hmm.
to be frustrated,
Mm-hmm.
disappointed, upset at God, upset at
Mm-hmm.
your parents for not
Mm-hmm.
telling you, upset for your friends and not telling you this is not the right one.
Yeah.
This is so wonderful, and I
Mm-hmm.
those cat naps really are great. I did the other day. I was so I just lost her a little bit. Just lost her. We wait for her to come back. We wait for her to come back. Thank you all so much for watching. Please continue to share the video. She'll be back in a minute, I'm sure. This has been wonderful. She'll be back in 1 second, I'm sure. Yes, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Lady Mo morning show. And as we wait for our, oh, there she is. She's back. She's back.
All right. So
Okay, you're back. Okay. So it's such a wonderful thing. And last night, was it last night? Yeah, one of our authors was talking about their relationship with the Holy Spirit and how important it is. And I really don't think that we value who God is, his pure existence
mm-hmm.
in our lives, and how he leads and guides us. And so many of our men that are being killed, or they're incarcerated, just
Mm-hmm.
dealing with uh, cultural situations and circumstances, and
Mm-hmm.
we're so gifted and anointed. It really is amazing to me how we can take something, when we take it and make it, it's just made.
Yes.
It's just a, I can't explain it, but you know what I mean. When we take
Yes.
something and we put our hands on it,
Mm-hmm.
it blows up. It's just
Yes.
amazing to me
Yes.
that
Yes.
how when rap started and people are like, oh no, we listen to that, and look at the rich millionaire billionaire rappers there are now. When we put
Yes.
our hands on
Mm-hmm.
something and
Mm-hmm.
we breathe on it
Mm-hmm.
and have the right mentor, or
Yes.
have the right mindset,
Yes.
having the right breathing techniques.
Mm-hmm.
Just last week, or might know, it was this week,
Mm-hmm.
I was so busy. I said, "Wait a second. I'm gonna put this phone down. I'm gonna close this computer." And my husband was looking at me like, "Are you all right?" I was like, "No, I'm shutting down for a whole hour."
And you have to sometimes.
A
You
whole
have to
hour.
sometimes. Yes.
And when I was
Yes.
finished, I was like refreshed. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Oh, I'm ready. I can go another
Mm-hmm.
10 hours
Mm-hmm.
now." It was like, "Take a
Yeah.
break." So tell us
Well,
a
but
little
you
more
was
about.
listening to your body. You were listening to your body, and that is also an excellent way that women can help bring men in. Because I heard you talk about scheduling a doctor's appointment for Brother John, and yeah, that's important because the more you do it, the more that they'll begin to do it on their own, and they'll recognize the need to go set up those appointments. Yeah,
Let
they'll
me tell you
do it
how
to their
crazy I am.
body.
Let me tell you how crazy I am. I make your dental appointment. I make your foot appointment. I make every appointment necessary. And I go with him and say, because he'll say, "Oh, I'm fine." "No, this is the problem, doctor. This is what we need to fix." And I said, and he looks at me. The doctor looks at me, because usually a man, and they're like, "Okay, I'm going to listen to her." Yes, you are. Because then they're not going to say, "Oh, they say I'm fine. Everything's
Yeah,
good."
yeah,
No, this needs to
yeah.
be fixed. He's having a challenge in this area. So that's so wonderful. What else did you want us to glean from your book?
I think that the last part of this is really to listen to your body, listen to what he asks of you,
Okay.
because most times, our men don't, which is why you most likely make these appointments. They listen, but they share it with you, right?
Mhm.
But we want them to get to a place where they listen to their bodies, and then they schedule those appointments, and then our jobs become, hey babe, did you make that appointment? Oh great, let me put it on the calendar. What time are you going? Do you mind me going with you?
Mhm.
I want men to make health and wellness a part of their daily lifestyles. Listen, it does not have to be dramatic. Like I
Mhm.
said, it could be sitting outside on your porch, because some of the men in the book talk about something as basic as sitting outside getting natural vitamin D. They're getting natural sunlight. That helps.
Mhm.
And then you have to be able to use affirmations to guide you. And when I talk about affirmations, I'm talking about those things that center the mind and get you focused on your day, your next step, because you're
Mhm.
setting intentions. And when
Mhm.
you set the intentions of I am, then you know there's an action plan behind it. That's what I want men to know.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic. Again, this is author Nikita Y. Jackson on Amazon.com. You can order her book. It's Nikita Jackson. And the book is called again?
The book is called Brotherhood of Black
Yes.
Fathers, Book
Yes.
of Affirmations on Health and Wellness. It really is a great journey for men, and it is not your typical book where you're doing some journaling, because that's not what our men normally do. They like to take piece by piece, reflect on it and come back to it. So it really is peppered with wonderful flavors of um, other men's perspectives, anecdotes, and thoughts about uh, fatherhood, their perspectives on fatherhood, and how they self care and how they self love, just to give you some ideas. And then there are authors, other individuals in this book that give you some perspective on the role of men's health and wellness, men's point of healing, understanding legacy. And then I have some really powerful women in this book who bring up the rear, and they talk about sacred love. They talk about the importance of the Black man from a woman's perspective and how much they are needed. So it's a really well rounded book that gives you a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But that focus is all about self care and self love, because you need it, you deserve it. You are who we look to
Mhm.
survive, and you have to know how valuable you are.
Yes. Do you have some copies for me that I can get, or you want me to order from Amazon? I need more than
No,
one.
I do have
Okay.
a few copies left for you. I did get another shipment in on
Oh,
yesterday.
oh,
They're
wonderful.
they're all but gone, with an exception of a few. I can't keep them. This is why I'm pushing people
Oh,
to
that's
Amazon.
wonderful.
But I do have one for you. Absolutely.
No, I need more than one. So I need. I'm gonna inbox you. I'm gonna inbox you in about another hour to see how many you
Okay.
have, so I can get them today or before
Absolutely.
Christmas or before Christmas if you
Yeah,
are
because I would
able.
love to be able to sign them for you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I love you.
Thank
And tell your
you.
husband I say hello.
I absolutely will. Give the love to the family, please, for
Yes.
me.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank
Take
you for
care.
having me. God bless.
God bless. Bye bye.
Bye.
Oh, wow. Wasn't she fantastic, everyone? She was I'm telling you, you got to get her book on Amazon.com. Her name is Nikita Y. Jackson, Nikita Jackson. The book is called Brotherhood. Make sure I'm saying it correctly. I want to make sure because I don't want to misquote. It's called Brotherhood of Black Fathers, and it's talking about affirmations of health and wellness. She was excellent, let me tell you. And it's some nuggets in the book. So I'm going to get some books today. I'm going to get one, of course, for my hubby, and probably going to get several more for the men. I got this sun here that's really bothering me, but I'm sure you still can see me. Our next guest has arrived. It's time to share the video. Again, it's time to share the video because we have our next guest and she's powerful, let me tell you. She's got a smile that will just make you smile. She has a smile of caring and loving. Now she can get with you too now, but she does it in love. And I love her because we have a lot in common. She's very artistic, but I love about her is she's not afraid to step out and do things that others are afraid to do. She follows her heart. She follows her spirit. She's always been one of, well, I just love her. So I'm sure you'll love her too once you hear her. And we're going to be talking about two of her current books. And it's called, let's see, make sure you, hi Francine, how are you? Welcome to the Lady Mo Morning Show. I'm in the morning now. So let me tell you about, I thought it was here. It is here. I know it is. Okay. The Second Voice is one of her books, and How to Get Your Freak Back. So we're going to save How to Get Your Freak Back after we talk about the Second Voice, because we don't want to get people off track and you can't focus when she's talking about the Second Voice. So we're going to welcome our guest, our next guest, to begin to share the video. Her name is Cynthia McKnight, and she's a beautiful person, great author, mentor, everything you name it. She has it all. She's a package deal. Her husband is wonderful. Her children are wonderful. They're just a wonderful family, and she's going to grace us with her presence and share some insight and understanding and share her book. All right, so here we go. Get ready.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey. Hey, Lady Mo. Oh, thank you. I'm wonderful. Thank you for welcoming me on your show. I'm excited.
I'm excited to see you. I told everybody about your smile, so I'm sure they're feeling the love.
I miss you so much. I miss you.
I know. We haven't seen each other in so long, but I know you well because you look well.
Doing good.
I haven't heard anything, so I'm assuming everything is fine. But thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your books with us, with the whole world. And it's important that we encourage and uplift each other, what else someone else is doing. And just, it's just to support one another, because Absolutely. Many people are so, you know how I am, envy and jealous. It's ridiculous. What God has for you, what God has placed on your heart is for you and the world. Forget about everybody else. And I love that about you, because you're so transparent. You're so open. You are a risk taker, which I really love. You will do whatever is in your heart and your spirit, whatever God tells you to do. So I just want you to start off and tell us about the book. The first one, we're going to save that second one for last.
Okay.
That first one, that Second Voice. Tell us about that book.
Absolutely. All right.
To talk about the right.
Absolutely. So this is the book. This is The Second Voice. And what inspired me to write this book was because of what I was starting to see in our world today is how many people have been distracted by the wrong voices. And that voice of the enemy is so loud in the lives of so many. And if we can get to a place where we can turn down the voice of the enemy so we can hear the voice of God clearly, we will be able to operate differently in our lives. So the book was birthed out of me really showing them the devices and the strategies of the enemy, and how the enemy still comes to kill, steal, and destroy. But you need to understand how he's using all of these levels of distractions to cause you to be off sync and not really getting the things that God has for you. So that's where this book was really birthed out of. And because of the book, and I have to say this, Lady Mo, in the beginning of the book, I wanted to write a letter from Adam and Eve. And so I wrote a letter from their lessons learned. Like, what did you learn after you got kicked out of a place of being in God's presence? And out of that, I created a movie that's coming out on Christmas. I wrote a movie. It's coming out on Christmas Day on Amazon Prime. It's called The Garden, the story of Adam and Eve from a different perspective. And it was birthed out of this book. So my desire for writing this book was to get people to understand God's voice, the united voice of God, because we have to understand God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And they were united in their voice. They didn't go against each other, but also understanding the manipulation and the strategy of the enemy's voice so that you can turn them down so you can hear the voice of God. So that's how this book came to be.
Wow. You know, I had wrote a book that's similar to yours. It's been sitting there. Mine is called The Second Voice, The Dream Killer. But
wow.
I got to get your book. Now, the one you said is coming out Christmas. Is it Christmas Day?
Yes, Christmas Day. It's the movie. It's coming out on Christmas Day.
So it's a movie.
It's a movie. The trailer is out. It's a movie. The trailer is out on all of our social media platforms right now. The trailer came out on Thanksgiving. So the trailer is out.
Why you didn't tell me? Why wasn't I in the movie?
Now listen, let me just say this, because you know we are friends, like for real. So you know we're going to talk like this. It was very challenging because of the pandemic for me to even be able to get this done. We had to have rehearsals through Zoom. That was challenging for me because I'm a touchy-feely person. I need to have you there. And so we only had Quincy plays Adam and Whitney plays Eve. And so we didn't have a large cast. So we were able to pull this off during this pandemic and still be able to bring it into families on Christmas Day to be a blessing.
Okay, so we need to do a Christmas Day virtual party so we can all watch the movie.
That would be great. We can definitely, everybody that has Amazon Prime can watch the movie for free. It will be live on Christmas Day. For those who don't have it, they can watch it on social media platforms. We will go live there as well. And I wanted it to be free for everyone because I wanted, what I'm aiming is for families to have a conversation. And in this film, it's going to deal with God's perspective, the enemy's perspective, and Adam and Eve's perspective. This is a different style of film. It's monologue based. And it's different than your average film. And the reason why I wanted to do it monologue based is because we are entertained too much to the point where we don't listen. Yes. And I really want people to focus on what they're saying instead of what they're doing.
Yes, yes. Oh my God. So I have something to do on Christmas Day.
Yes. I can't wait till you see it.
I'm going to have my kids sitting right there. Yes. Yes. So, you know, I know you wrote, tell me a little more about the book, the Second Voice. What can we look forward to seeing in the book that will transform our life will get us prepared for 2021?
Well, you know, some of the chapter titles I think really will speak for themselves. Like, for example, in chapter 1, it's the voice of the big I. It's when everybody think it's always about them. And the enemy always created that big I. I talk about the voice of the intruder and how the enemy comes in and he's always trying to come in to block you for what God has for you. See, God created us for his pleasure, for a purpose and a plan, but the enemy will come in and he will intrude in certain areas, whether it's your marriage relationships, your ministry, he'll come in. And then I deal with the voice in the garden. And I talk about the garden a lot because the Garden of Eden is so powerful and it's so incredible. When I did our post-production, our pre-production, even after when we did our post-production, let me talk about our pre-production first. When we went to the site, it was 126 acres of garden space where we shot this film. And I was in the midst of the garden. Now, listen, this garden was nothing like it was for them, But for me, I felt so at peace. I felt like I was in the presence of God. The oxygen is totally different when you're surrounded by plants. I was breathing different. And I said to myself just in the garden, like, I don't even want to leave. So I know how they have to feel to be kicked out of the presence of God to go on the other side to fend for yourself. And so for me, in writing this book, I talk about that voice in the garden because all of us now have a garden inside of us.
Yes.
And how are we allowing the intruders to keep coming in? So I talk about that in the book. I also talk about the voice of the liar, the voice of the thief, the voice of the killer. I just talk about them in certain areas so that people can get a clear understanding. And the way that I wrote the book like an outline. And the reason why I did that is so when people read it, they won't lose their spot. They can always go back because of the headings in each chapter. So that's pretty much kind of like a synopsis of the book.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's some authors out here, and they're thinking, she wrote a book and did a movie. I can't even start writing. I have a mental block. Encourage them. Tell them on what was your process of actually starting to write. I started writing. Well, I come up with the title, then I write, and I go back and forth. Everybody is different. So tell the viewers what they should do if they have something in their heart and they want to be a writer or an author or a producer.
Absolutely. I think the first thing that most of us need to realize is what is our life purpose. One of the things for me is I understand that my life purpose is to inspire and to use my creative gift to make changes in the lives of others. And identifying that, for me, I see it before I do it. So I am a visual person.
Yeah.
So when I write a film, I already saw the film before I wrote it. When I write a book, I saw the book before I started writing it. So if you're going to start something, you have to start it the way that God has created you to start it. Like Lady Mo just said, she starts first with her title. Every process is different. There is no same process. People process differently. I have some people who start their book in the middle, and people laugh and say, how do they start in the middle? Well, they do. They start at the core of their book, and then they kind of fill in the end, the beginning and the end. Then you have some, it really depends. One of the things that I want to tell all of those that are listening right now and those that will go back and rewatch this broadcast is that if it's in you, you have to get started. If you don't have the ability to do all the parts that's necessary, get the help from other people. Get people that are experts in that field. I also want to explain what a ghostwriter is. And the reason why I want to explain that because people don't understand when they hear the word ghostwriter. When a ghostwriter is simply this. It is a person that takes your creative ideas because you may not be good grammatically. You may not be good in structuring your book. You may not be good in graphic designs, but God gave you something. So a ghostwriter will come in and they will take all of this stuff out of you. I mean, you got to work hard. To be honest, you got to work extra hard when you deal with ghostwriters. But once they finish your project, they get ghost. That's what a ghostwriter is. That's all it is. It's that after they're done, they out of here. They ain't helping you with nothing else. It's up to you to market your book. It's up to you to push your book. That's a ghostwriter. A ghostwriter is not coming in and doing your work for you. That is not what a ghostwriter is. So when people hear that, some of them say, I don't want a ghostwriter. No, some of you may need a ghostwriter and be okay with that.
Mm-hmm. That's really good information because that stops a lot of people from writing.
Yes.
I'm not grammarly correct. I don't know how to write. I'm right like I talk. So
right.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So tell me, let's go jump on to the second book.
Okay.
Because that's
how to get your freak back.
How to get your freak back. Some people have lost the freak and they don't even know where the freak is. They can't even find the freak. It's so funny because I was just saying this morning before I got on the broadcast, and I'm so open. I don't care. I had these.
I love that though, Lady Mo. Come on, I love that. So come on.
I had these panties I pulled out of my drawer this morning, and they were like some big girl panties. I don't even know where they came from. I guess I purchased them because my butt got a little larger. And I was looking at them, and I had a vision of my kids coming in the room saying, "Mom, what is that?" And I said to them, in my mind, those are my cycle panties. And I said to myself, I don't even have a cycle anymore. So, and I'm thinking, oh, I don't wear them around him, but I'm thinking, did he ever see me with these on? Tell us how to get our freak back. Some people have lost the freak. Some people are just having sex or just every day or whatever they're having it with no emotion. It's just not like it used to be. They're just doing it out of convenience because that's what they do.
Yeah, and what's happening is we have a lot of immature relationships. We need to really position ourselves to be mature in our relationships. We have too many people that's belling out too fast. We have too many couples that are ready to run, but they're not ready to fight in that relationship and fight for it because God really put you together in some cases. And so we have to be mature in our relationships. And I think the reason why I wrote this book is because my husband and I, we've been counseling for 20 plus years, married couples. And I was just sitting in these sessions after sessions after sessions. And I was like, okay, now listen, there are some things that you have to be mature in. You cannot be immature in these areas. You have to get through some things and you have to be willing to get through them. And so I wrote the book, How to Get Your Freak Back. It's an acronym. It means being fulfilled, recharged, empowered, appreciated, and kind in your relationship. Now, if you're not being fulfilled in your relationship, you need to know what's going on. Communication, communication, communication. So many couples are not communicating and they're not being mature in what's going on with their relationship. So in this book, I talk about why did you say I do? I talk about you're getting on my nerves. There's more to me. Don't follow your senses. Stop going in the archive. These are just some chapters in the book. Becoming one in your finances. So I deal with all of these different areas. And at the end of each chapter, I do something called freak activities, where I have them as couples to really do things together, to ask questions, to communicate, to create better intimacy, to do things, stop being so rigid and stop doing the same thing over and over again because it's familiar, stepping outside of that to do some things differently. So that's why I wrote the book, How to Get Your Freak Back.
Yes, I mean, and you're so right. When we counsel, the first thing I say, how often you having sex? They're like, wow, you just come right down. Yes, because that's part of the problem. If you have no connectivity in that area, definitely you're not going to have any connectivity outside of the bedroom or wherever you decide to mate up. And this is, and especially during this season, my daughter said to me, I think she's 18. Yeah, she's 18. As soon as the pandemic happened, and she said, Mom, get ready to do a lot of counseling because people have not been spending this kind of time together in their entire relationship. And we have been doing more counseling during the pandemic.
I believe
unbelievable.
I believe
I don't know what I said, but what have you been doing all this time? Existing, working, doing the same routine every single day with no purpose in sight.
Right. And we have to pay attention. I think in relationships, we have to pay attention. I think we don't really pay attention to our environments, to the elements of what's going on, because if you really in marriage pay attention, you will be able to see certain things that are happening. See, one of the things when you become deficient in your relationship, it affects so many other areas. If you need time, quality time, and you're not getting it and you're deficient, it causes you to have an attitude. It causes other things to happen. Any deficiency always causes something to happen when you're not deficient. It's the same thing when you are deficient in vitamins. If you're deficient in iron, iron will cause your mind to be foggy. So when you're deficient in quality time, it allows you to act a certain way, to treat a person a certain way. It's wrong, but it's the truth. So we have to pay attention in these relationships if you want to be fulfilled. And we have to be recharged because there's sometimes we're so depleted and we have to be recharged. A compliment recharges you up in a relationship. You shouldn't hear all of these compliments from everybody externally. You should be, as husband and wife, complimenting each other, building each other, empowering each other. And I see that time and time again that so many people have lost their freak. because they have lost being fulfilled. They have stopped recharging. They're definitely not empowering each other. They don't appreciate each other. And they sure enough not being kind to each other. I've seen it. So, this book was just created to help and just to allow couples to see that you can win, but you need to be mature in your relationship to do so.
Wow, that is so wonderful. Now, I know your schedule is pretty busy because I'm sensing that we need to talk about this more on our Relationship Doctor show. I don't know what your schedule is for Monday evening, but
okay,
with your husband to see if you're available, because
okay.
people need to, especially this time, we need to be reaffirmed. We need to go back to the basics. We need to
absolutely.
Some of these points that you were talking about, like paying attention. I was talking to Dr. Tim about that the other day. I said, "You're not paying attention." He's like, "I am." I said, "No, you watching CNN." He got one ear. He got one for CNN and one for me. This is literally, and I said, "Dude, if you ready to listen to me, let me know. Tell CNN you're gonna be moving to where they are in Connecticut."
Absolutely.
And he's like, "No, I can do both." No, you can't. This is
and they're absolutely right. That is so good. Listen, Mo, let me tell you why that's good. Because if the Bible says a double-minded person is unstable, I tell couples a person that's double in their attention is unstable. You can't give your attention to multiple things at the same time. You are unstable in giving me the attention that I require and that I need so that you can hear me. Because you're going to miss something. You're going to miss something. You're going to miss something.
Yeah, exactly. And I end up repeating myself. And I'm like, okay, this is not working. I mean,
right.
I'm like, no. He's like, no. I said, no, this is not working for me. I need your undivided attention for this thing because this is serious. And he's like, everything is serious to you. Absolutely. Absolutely. If you're in my presence and I'm talking, I need you to hear me. You can watch CNN later. It's all on all day. It's the same. I say new things. He's looking at me like, you're a lot. I'm like, I
know, brother.
I'm giving that scripture because it's so true. How you apply that scripture to what I said. Double mind. That was great. That was good. Okay. Because he'll respond to the scripture in a minute. He will.
But it really it's the truth. You can't have divided attention when a person needs your undivided. So when you're double-minded, it's divided. So you have to realize you have to cut off everything and give total attention to what I'm saying so that you can respond to what I'm saying the right way.
Oh my goodness. Y'all got to get this book, How to Get Your Freak Back, on Amazon.com. And the second voice is on Amazon.com. You shop there 3 or 4 times a day, so everybody's familiar with it. Also, her movie is coming out on Christmas Day. If you're Prime members, it is free. Amazon.com. Cynthia McKnight, powerful. She said some powerful things. We're going to pray that she'll be able, her and her husband, to come on the Relationship Doctors on Monday night, because we got to talk about how to get the freak back on during the pandemic.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We got to bring it back. I always tell Tim, everybody knows, honey, you got to get some vitamins. You got to get it all. Whatever you need to make it work, let's go get it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because I'm in my prime and I need
you in your prime. I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you. You look amazing. See, I haven't seen you, so this is my first time I really, really we're talking and I haven't talked to you. I'm so proud of you. You're doing such an incredible job.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on this morning and dropping those nuggets.
Absolutely.
Remember to go to Amazon.com, Cynthia McKnight, and get all her books and watch her movie on Christmas Day, because you're in a quarantine, so you can't go anywhere. And most people do have Prime, so it's going to be free. Let's watch it together. I'm going to communicate with her, and we're going to figure out how we're going to do it virtually. So we'll have everybody around the world be watching the movie at the same time, and eating pie, whatever we're going to do.
Yes.
But we thank her so much. Everybody, thanks Cynthia McKnight for coming and gracing us with her presence, her smile, her knowledge, her wisdom. the nuggets that she's dropped today. I'm telling you, join me next week. It's going to be empowerment, motivational week. We have special guests coming all week. It's going to be awesome. Preparing you for 2021. Just because we're in a pandemic, the pandemic doesn't have to be in us. So we thank you for tuning in, and y'all have a fantastic day. Thank you, Cynthia.
I
Love you too. Bye.
love you. Bye.
Oh, wasn't she fantastic, everybody? Woo! I told you we have ended our Authors Week. Has been fantastic. I encourage you, I ask you, I beg you to go and order everyone's book. From Monday, Dr. Middleton, Dr. Rodney Middleton. Tuesday, we had Lorraine Williams, and we had, let me make sure I get all these names right, Kiera Moore. And then on Wednesday, we had Dr. Chevelta. Her book was on rest. Kiera Moore's books were on wounds. Let me tell you, she had some good books. Let me go back and I want to tell you what they are. All right. I want to tell you because I want to make sure that you guys get everything you need from Authors Week. Those of you who are thinking about writing a book, please do. I have about 78 titles right now that I'm sitting on. I've probably started maybe 4 of them. And, you know, I'm going to get to them. And then hopefully I've written 2 books so far, I've published 2 books so far, and I have 78 more to go. So we're excited about that. Let me tell you, I'm waiting for my computer to come up so I can tell you, and it didn't work. It didn't work. Let's see, because I want to make sure I give you all the information that you need so you can go and purchase all these authors' books. I don't know what's going on with, okay, here we go. So we had Lorraine. She dealt with alopecia, and she went from all head full of hair to no hair. So she was talking about the confidence that she had received, and how the book and the situation that she was going through, how the book just built her confidence, and it was just fantastic. Now, Kiera Moore, that's why I'm having problems, because I haven't drank all of 2 hours. 2 hours. So her book, let's see. That was Kiera Moore. Her book is about therapeutic. I can't even say it. Therapeutic. She has some books for some children. Let me give you her names of her books so you can order them. Although you can watch the broadcast. You can watch the broadcast and you will be able to see all the books. And actually, she was on Wednesday or Tuesday. The Pursuit of Productivity Planners, and she has some books that I'm going to order for our adopted families about anger, how to handle anger, how to handle anger. And that's for our middle school, our elementary school, and our high school. So just students in general. I'm trying to find this other young woman who was fantastic. Oh, that's her name. Her name was Frida Camille. And she had some awesome books called Open Wound, The Storms Caused My Faith, To Have, Not to Hold, Things I Wish He Knew. That was on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we had Dr. Chevelta, who she wrote on rest. Absolutely fantastic. Her book was just phenomenal too. I'm telling you, this has been a fantastic week. I'm so excited because everybody is going to go out and buy these books. These make good stocking stuffers. Good stocking stuffers, everybody. Good stocking stuffers. Let me tell you, rest is releasing emotion and stress together. Dr. Chevelta, she's a optometrist, right? No, I know she's a gynecologist. I know that for a fact. But she's doing something else. Hello, getting your freak back. I'm telling you, Jesus, we need it. Hopefully they'll be on our show on Monday night because some of us need to get our freak back. Let's just tell the truth. Tell the truth. And then we had on, excuse me, on Thursday, we had Dr. Williams talking about, on his book, is Breaking the Chains of Addiction. Then we had, that was awesome, Breaking the Chains of Addiction from anywhere from ice cream to anger to alcoholism to sex, pornography, going back to just breaking the chains of addiction in every area of your life. That's his book is called Breaking the Chains of Addiction. That is Dr. George Williams. Go back. That was Thursday. Go back and watch the video. You can get all the information. Then on Friday, we had Shay Fawcett Robinson yesterday. Her book was called Transparency. And she was talking about mental challenges and how to deal with a child that was mentally challenged and her process. And that was amazing. That was yesterday, last night. And then this morning we had Nikita Jackson, who was talking about brotherhood in the Black. Let me make sure I get it correctly, because you know I'll be messing up stuff, yo. I just want to make sure I have everything. I guess I should be. Y'all still with me? Because we're about to leave. I have to tell you what I had for breakfast. I had some bread pudding that I made yesterday. A cup of coffee. When I tell you it was delicious, it was delicious. Brotherhood of Black Fathers. And she was talking about mental and self-care of the man holistically. Fantastic. She was just wonderful. Her information is there listed as well. You can get it on Amazon.com. Nikita Y. Jackson. Then our last guest was Cynthia McKnight on That Second Voice. And the other book is How to Get Your Freak Back. I'm telling you, we have had an awesome week. Authors Week. You have to join me next week because we're going to have an empowerment. Let me talk about that a little bit. On Monday night. It starts on Monday night. And let me give you the exact time. Thank you all so much who've been watching, who've been tuning in and enjoying. If you have been enjoying it, please let me know you've been enjoying the Lady Mo show. I'm on in the mornings, in the evenings, in the afternoons. So let me look at my notes here. I have to make it bigger so I can see it, even though I don't know why it's not going any bigger for me. Here we go. The Coach of Encouragement. His whole, it's just, I get so excited talking about him. His name is J.L. Williams. He'll be on a Monday evening at 6:30. And his theme is stop playing with it. It's not stop playing with it. It's stop playing with it. Can you believe? He is going to set us ablaze. He's going to get us prepared for 2021. That's what this whole week is about for next week. Encouraging, motivating, uplifting us, empowering us, entrepreneurs, small business owners, millionaires, billionaires, whatever your heart's desires, that's going to be. He's going to start it off at 6:30 on Monday. It's called Stop Playing With It. Stop playing with it. Stop playing with it. All right. Then on Tuesday evening, we had a speaker and a life coach, Kevon Turner. He's going to be Tuesday at 6:30. Then Tuesday as well at 7, we're going to have the Douglas family. They are all entrepreneurs. The father, he is a designer. He makes clothing. The wife wears the clothing and sells the clothing. The son is an entrepreneur. He does it all. He's got a business. And the daughter is the model, and she has a business. I know that she told me that I can't remember. The Douglas Empire. Father, mother, son and daughter. The son goes to Morehouse. So I'm telling you, they're going to be off the chain. Then on Wednesday at 6, we're going to have a financial guru, Michelle Martin. She's going to be on as well. If you're having some challenges with your finances, you need some, some tweaks, you need help. And then we're going to close it out with the incredible Darnell Jervey Harmony, the CEO of Incredible One Enterprises. That's going to be on Thursday at 7 p.m. I don't have a guest yet for Friday. I think I'm going to cut it off because we're going to be on overload. Or I might just do it myself. We're going to be on overload. If you are getting ready, you should be getting ready to prepare your mind for 2021. Just because we're in a pandemic doesn't mean the pandemic has to be in you. We can thrive and strive, develop and grow during a pandemic. You can do it. So thank you all for tuning in with me this week for Authors Week. I'm still excited to get all the books. I have to start collecting all my books. I have a lot of reading to do and a lot of writing to do. So join us tomorrow morning at 10:30 for HGM Worship with Dr. Tim and Lady Mo tomorrow. I think he's pulling me in with him tomorrow. We're going to talk about faith. We're going to talk about, is it you? Is it you? Or is it you? What's the common denominator? You. That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Y'all have a fantastic day. It's a beautiful day. It was raining, but it looks like it stopped. So take a little time, everybody. Take a little time to breathe. Just breathe. Take a minute to meditate and just breathe and think about how good God has been to you. So take care. Have a fantastic day. And thank you for tuning in to the Lady Mo Morning Show. See you later.